Hi, my name's Philip Crampton. I'm the founding trustee of the Kids Hotel Trust. Daniel Brown approached me from Victoria University to inquire whether he could use the work of the Kids Hotel Trust as a project for his architectural students. It's a fantastic opportunity for the Trust. The Kids Hotel Trust is intending to open a 160-bed accommodation facility specifically for school-aged New Zealanders, located right in the centre of Wellington, to provide them with low-cost, central and safe accommodation. This will meet a unique need and enable many thousands of young New Zealanders to visit Wellington during their school age. We're really grateful for Daniel's approach to us because as a charitable trust we have limited resources, and the insight and ideas of his students will take us a long way toward realising them.
Kia ora, my name is Vern Winitana of Waifatu Marae Lower Hut. The project that we worked on was a collaboration with Daniel and his senior students to develop an arts and cultural centre based on tribal land. It threw up a number of challenges, the first one being a number of young students working with a very conservative Māori community. The second challenge was the actual engagement of those students to try to articulate and develop a facility that was acceptable to the community as well. The importance of this project was in fact the relationship between the school and Daniel as the facilitator and our community, and we think we achieved some great success.
I'm Jenny Michova. I'm a colleague of Daniel Brown, and now I teach the color and lighting course that Daniel created. Daniel developed a very unique device to capture his students' imaginations. He took a series of 360-degree panoramic photographs of the interiors of all the students' favorite places. And then Daniel invited the students to reconceive these places as designers of the new generation. This kind of projects not only captured the students' imaginations, but they added a relevance to the work that provoked even stronger design solutions than ever before.
Hi, my name is Lee Gibson. I'm a senior lecturer in design and a colleague of Daniel Brown. I was also one of the 65 students in the first course that Daniel ever taught at Victoria University. Daniel challenged us in that paper to become the designers of a new generation to engage critical issues affecting the entire wider community in New Zealand. I would like to share with you one such project where Daniel challenged us to redesign the entire skyline of Wellington. Our student work for this project was so unique that it was published on the front page of the newspaper and also shown on television.
Welcome to Channel 7 News.
Good evening, Wellington. This is Channel 7 News for Friday the 15th of October. I'm Lisa Davidson. In tonight's stories, the Wellington School of Architecture students have let loose their creative talents and redesigned some of Wellington's buildings. Channel 7 News reporter Naomi Milner spoke with them.
The question has been asked often, why does Wellington not have a building of the caliber of the Sydney Opera House or the Eiffel Tower, buildings that really bring tourists to the city and make a statement about the city that people remember and recognize? The students took that challenge and decided to take the original program and the original site for several potential landmark buildings at Wellington and show people what the class of 2000 would do for the same building that those architects had tried a few years back.
Why did you choose the buildings to redesign that you chose?
Well, I chose the ferry terminal because it's kind of different and kind of wasn't architecturally worked out. So because for the class of 2000 we're just going to make a big statement and show our design in Wellington.
Which building did you choose and why?
I chose to do the Queen's Wharf Retail Event Centre, and the reason I chose to do that is because I think it's in quite a prime location in the city and is a good spot to really create a statement for the city skyline.
Which building did you choose and why?
I picked Te Papa, was originally through a piece of writing that I did in another course, looking at the idea of biculturalism and how that impacted on the building, and then trying to come up with ways that, like I think the building at the moment, although it's successful in some aspects, fails in terms of being a landmark, which is probably quite an important thing for something that wants to assert a sense of identity. Okay. And so this project, I wanted to look at ways in which biculturalism could be incorporated while keeping that kind of landmark idea.
How did you achieve that?
It's kind of in the end, I think, manifested itself through a building which stands as a tower, which I guess is a kind of landmark idea, but at the same time it kind of, it sort of looks out upon its reflection, so it's kind of dealing with its precedents.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Matt Hammond. I'm now a tutor in the School of Architecture, and I was also one of Daniel's past students. One of the most intriguing projects Daniel assigned to us was to redesign the interiors of the Wellington City Art Museum, the Public Library, the City Council Building, City Hall and the Michael Fowler Convention Centre. Daniel's teaching had a unique impact on encouraging professional calibre work from his students and promoting our future careers through community exposure. Projects such as this one critically challenged us to identify ourselves as representatives of the New Zealand generation of designers, with the objective of reconceiving existing New Zealand buildings as international calibre designs. Our student projects were exhibited in the Wellington City Art Gallery with a public reception attended by the Governor-General, Sir Michael Hardy-Boyce.
My name's Judy Hutt and I'm a Director of the Island Bay Marine Education Centre. I'm also a Trustee of the Wellington Marine Conservation Trust. We are going to build an aquarium and an education centre in Wellington.
And I'm Dr. Victor Androlini and I'm also a Director of the Marine Education Centre and a Trustee of the Wellington Marine Conservation Trust.
7 years ago we approached Daniel Brown to get some help from his students about designing the new project, and we're very glad that we did.
We feel it's really important to have those fresh ideas from young architect students who will be able to see the project as a concept rather than as a project that will be a business venture. So when we were able to get our first feedback from the students, we were amazed at the sort of the creativity that they exhibited, and we feel that's really important to both the project and for the community.
My name is Chris Whelan. As Operations Manager of New Zealand's National Police College, I was charged with leading a project to develop a new police memorial for officers slain in the line of duty. Through a mutual friend who studied at Victoria University's School of Architecture and Design, I sought some advice and he recommended a teacher that he said was inspiring him particularly at the time, Daniel Brown. I approached Daniel, asked him whether he and his students might be willing to give us some assistance, and he said he'd be delighted. Over the next 2 months I was privileged to be part of a remarkable exercise as these students, under his tutelage, took this project to heart and developed something that was quite remarkable, and a set of designs that was seen by all of New Zealand's police staff, all 9,000 of them from the Commissioner downwards. It created enormous debate, and hopefully it's going to be leading to a project at some stage in the future.
Hi, I'm Ruth. Last year Daniel took 30 of us over to India on his international field study trip. The students were from diverse years and diverse classes, representing the disciplines of architecture, interior design and industrial design. Daniel's course changed our lives, and we would like to share some of the messages that we wrote to him at the end of the trip. Daniel, whoa, I think I'm still jumbled up and confused about the whole thing, and I'm not too sure exactly what I want to write. But I do want to say thanks for everything. The trips, the amazing architecture, the elephant rides, the antibiotics, the bananas, the growlings and the encouragements, the insides. Thanks for the incredible amount of work you put into the organisational stuff, the guiding us around places and the guidance of us in our education. But I particularly want to thank you now in advance for the profundities of this experience that I'll realise in 1 year or I'm 5 or 20 into the future. You know how some of life's little lessons are so quiet and they sneak up on you, and only later on do you really realise what they've meant and will mean for your life. So thanks.
Daniel, if it was possible to read my heart, it would express great thanks for the life journey we have all shared together. It has really changed my perceptions and brought me to think differently about not just myself, but also the world that surrounded me. My soul needed this trip. It has inspired great change in me, something that will truly come into realisation with age and more experience. Thank you for caring, teaching and friendship. Love always, Jessica.
DKB, I don't ever plan for what I'm going to write, and so I'm going to go with a stream of consciousness. I want to thank you for looking after me and all of us with the utmost hospitality and genuine love. Your stories on the bus that always captivated, your stories while drinking which always kept us in fits of laughter. You maintained a perfect balance of relaxed atmosphere and pressure to do work, which was so important for this trip to be a success, both educationally and in terms of personal spirituality. As my first trip overseas, it has set higher expectations for future travel than I would have ever believed. India was everything I could have hoped for, and you have made it a place that I will always remember and always return to. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you for taking us to the most awesome interior spaces I've ever seen. These experiences and memories will be with me for the rest of my life. Cheers, Crystal.
Daniel, thank you for teaching me that my spirit, my consciousness, my amazement at life itself can be expressed through all of my thoughts and actions. My head and my heart will always be full with memories of our journey, because the journey is the destination, and I'll continue to enjoy the ride. Love, Scott M.
Dr. Duck, don't mind my words. I find words often letting me down. I consider myself lucky to have had you as a teacher, a friend on this trip, and for life. And of course, as Dr. Duck, but more than that is that you allowed me to find me. I believe that we were meant to meet, and for you to have a considerable contribution on my life, not just on this trip, nor this course, but for life. Lots of thanks, and
Daniel, since returning home, I have often been asked, how is Daniel as a tutor? Not only have you been my brick when I have needed someone to reassure me, but you had been a great friend, nurturing doctor, inspiring tutor, and a true mentor. Your passion and knowledge have taught me so much, and has given me a new view of life in general. India touched me in a way that will stay with me forever, and has given me the desire to fulfill so many more dreams.
Daniel, thank you so much for sharing one of the most amazing experiences of my life with me. You have given me so much more confidence in myself and my ideas over this entire year, and have become one of the most inspirational people I've had the privilege of knowing so far in my life. I just hope you have not set the standard too high for all the other amazing people to compare, that I still hope are out there and set to interact with my life's pathway.
Dear Daniel, I've thought about what to write for weeks and finally come to the conclusion that no words will do justice or express the thanks that I wish you to hear. Your lessons have been incredible and will not be forgotten. The way you talk is so inspirational, and I just hope that one day I can have experienced a fraction of what you have and be able to share stories that you have. I want to thank you for sharing part of the world with me that I may not have otherwise seen. I still can't comprehend. Most of all, thank you for your friendship. It means a lot, and I look forward to it lasting in the times yet to come. Thank you. Love, Scott.
As you guide me and inspire me every day through life, there you were in India. What to say to a man who has touched me as much as you? I've learnt so much about design, but more importantly, about life and friendship. This trip to me was always going to be about discovering who I am and sharing this with my closest friends. Your friendship has not only inspired me, but slowly helps define me as a persona of whom I'm proud to be. Thank you for being you. So life goes on and we find ourselves again spiritually wandering.
Hi, I'm Tim. This is the message that I wrote for Daniel. Thank you for your enthusiasm, your knowledge and your warmth. I can think of no better guide. When you say our innocence touches you, remember that we are fed by yours, which seems to have survived unscathed. You have given us confidence which will endure. Cheers, mate.